These were built in the first decade in the 20th century. Oh, this area floods. The last major big flood was 1890, so they've fixed that. They raised the level of the streets 3 to 5 meters. These are 18th century. The new City Hall was completed in 1911 in the Art Nouveau style for some city offices. However, since 1945, it's housed the offices of the mayor and the city council. This is a giant stainless steel curved tube art piece. The shiny surface acts like a mirror reflecting what it sees. Here with all the medieval buildings.
I was born in a different house that was on exactly the same side. 1840, sorry, 83 I think he was born, but he died in 1924. So we are commemorating 100 years anniversary since he died.
This was founded in the 13th century. This is the old town hall. The town was founded in 1232. These old streets that are narrow, those were the streets in the Middle Ages. The buildings have been rebuilt, but not the streets. It's a new Paris street. It's very expensive. They have the trees and the fancy stores are all on this street. Here's an example of a very narrow lane. The clock that is going to do its thing here in 5 minutes. Outer ring moves constantly. This is a calendar and it moves too.
And on the left is Aurora. Okay. There is a warning. Roman number 1 and Arabic number 7 in color. You find one
States Theater. Charles University. Oldest university north of the Alps.
So, anyway, it's an honor for me to welcome you in this beautiful historical place because right now you are in the theater building where Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart conducted the opera Don Giovanni for the very first time. And this theater belongs to one of the most beautiful and the oldest historical theaters in Europe. And it's actually the oldest theater here in Prague. And what's unique about this place is that it's the last still standing theater building where Mozart was active as a conductor. Theater buildings had been built across Europe, and the situation here in Prague was that the cultural level was very good in here. Almost everybody could play some instrument.
town. This is the new town, but it was laid out in the 14th century.
Spontaneously. But here, the new town was actually hard working. Okay, so it's like, often it's decorated with virtue. So these are often connected with hard working.
National Museum.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the building, and that's kind of looks like a crown. That's 1911. There are some figures on the side. And over here, these guys are pretty cool. This is 20s and 30s. Called it functionalism. There's no brick, but I'm familiar with it. Bauhaus.
But you can see the top of the square, and it was a communist government, but the
Spring of
communists were more
1968.
liberal, and they tried to present a program with themselves described socialism with the human face. So the censorship was abolished. There were great movies that were made. Format part of his career as a filmmaker state, where the civilians were just taken by surprise. So there is this middle-aged lady that is trying to show the social well in progress, maybe the fourth or the fifth day. So you can see that the whole square was absolutely packed. Yeah, so there were hundreds. It's Marks and Spencer building now, but at the time it belonged to one of the publishing houses.
This was built as an aristocratic home, a town palace with rococo, several courtyards inside. 2 stories, 3 stories, and the little ones on top for the help. The playground. There's some guys from Star Wars. Probably got lots of video games in there. The building itself is very old. This was a powder tower because it once stored ammunition, gunpowder. Originally, it was just a gate into the old town for royal processions.